Here we go. Talking to your little mic.
Rock, rock, rock.
And we're rock.
Rock.
Rocks out. So, buttons on your underwear. Have you listened to Cobra and FUZZ's group play Voltage in the Milky Night before?
No.
What did you think of that spin?
Great. I need to get it now.
Just you gotta hold the mic a little bit, like 6 inches from your face. It is a
Check, check, check.
You're good. We got your signal on there. I just want to
Okay,
make
is
sure
it
we
on?
can hear you. Yeah, the monitors are on. You'll hear yourself.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Cobra and FUZZ's group play Voltage in the Milky Night. Rating
I'm already going to give it 5 stars just because it's Stereolab.
5 stars. I quite enjoyed it. I think that's maybe the second time I've listened to it, not going to lie. I don't pull out those Stereolab records often. But anytime I do, especially alone, it's a very impressive experience. I like to get baked.
I like it better, just to listen to alone sometimes,
Yes, I've had people insult Stereolab before,
What?
and it hurt me. Yeah,
Who?
somebody who didn't like the genre of kind of like indie rock-ish, vague spectrum. I don't know. That's what they called it.
Wow. I just caught beautiful.
That's what I concur, Glenn. We got a
Those
shaky
people are
table. We got
silly.
a creaky chair.
It's okay. Shaky Table was my first band,
This
circa
jank-
2004.
This setup is fun. Speaking of bands that Glenn's in, he's in Triptides, and he put out a new album called Alter Echoes. Look at that beautiful cover.
Courtesy of our buddy Andrew McGranahan. Shout out to Andrew.
Color vinyl.
It's colorful. It's blue.
Is it?
It's blue.
What
They're
what
all
kind of
blue.
Is it blue like? Is
It's
it blue like the light?
hallucinogenic blue vinyl.
Hallucinogenic blue, I like
See-through
that.
blue.
See-through blue, so you can really trip out.
You
when
can
you
trip.
trip
You
out.
can kind of see your platter under it while it's spinning.
I really like Triptides. I haven't tripped out to Triptides yet. Actually,
That's okay.
I might have and just forgot.
That's okay.
Trip too hard.
I understand. We're not trying to promote anything in particular with the name. It's just how it all shook out.
It's all right. Names are names. They have ambiguous meaning for everyone, right?
This one's been around for a decade, so that's pretty intense.
That
you know?
is.
And it hasn't aged terribly. I'm not mad at the name. I'm cool with the name still. So I know some people have bands and they don't like their name anymore at all.
Yeah,
I'm
that
not
would
gonna name people's
fucking
names
suck.
here.
That would fucking suck. What
just
album
trapped,
is
you know?
this? Triptides Alter Echoes for Triptides.
I think
If you were
it
to
might
put a
be-
number on it.
Well, let me think. Psychic Summer, Sun Pavilion, Predictions, Azure, Afterglow, Visitors. This is our 7th full length, I guess. 7th.
Oh, heck yeah. Lucky number 7.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. How many songs are on this? Let's see.
Between 1 and 12, I think. How many are there?
11.
There's 11.
I'm very bad. I have actually not listened to any more of this. Did you play the recent live stream that you did? Was there songs off of this?
Was all songs from that. Wasn't
Okay,
all of the
so-
songs, but they're all on there.
I have listened to it. I very much can recommend it. Very high can recommend much in
You can recommend much good, record
and very
good.
all
You
at
say
the same
live
time.
good, so record
I
must
say
be
live
better.
good.
You know,
Record
better
must be
than
better.
live.
Josh rating 5-star.
Record have more sound.
It do.
Live have less.
Baby, it do.
But more immediacy. And,
I actually liked watching that performance. It was let's just say it was raw. Like I felt like, was there any like mixing? Was that just straight in?
Clay, who was engineering the thing and producing the audio of the stream, he did a couple things where he like turned up guitar solos. He was in there. He maybe spent like 5-10 minutes, going through it, making sure it sounded right, writing a couple solos, and that was it. It wasn't like we were in and out. It was fast, but we kind of mix ourselves because I hit on, pedals that turn me up and down, and Steven, he plays in a dynamic way. Same with Brendan. So
No, I felt like I was there. I mean, maybe it was a privilege of the studio monitors, but I was like, man, this is like a really transparent, nice. Like,
I listened on
recording.
studio monitors too. It was awesome.
Yeah. No, I cannot recommend. Check out the Alter Echoes live stream. I'll link that in the description of whatever I put this on, and then also
I don't know what is being put on. He
this
told me
is
to
gonna
come
be
here.
on
He locked the door.
YouTube, and yeah, that's pretty much it. That's what we got going on right now.
Josh, how are they going to see the video on SoundCloud?
They're not. SoundCloud's an audio-only option for those who don't wish to view my ugly face.
Well, I know some people might want to listen to it when they're walking or driving in a vehicle, or maybe
Something
they're going
like
on
that.
a little trip with mom and they don't want to see us, but they want to hear it,
Or a hike, or anything wonderful like that.
I doubt the hike. No, I don't see that happening. But the other stuff, yeah.
Okay. Well, I listen to podcasts while I hike, but you don't have to.
Well, that's good to know. No, but it was fun. It was a good time, and I called Clay, the guy who runs the studio. I called him a week in advance, and I just said, "Can we block off Friday? Are you down to do this?" And he was doing a couple streaming things when the pandemic was full force, like live stream things. So he already had he's kind of like when he's not doing production stuff. I mean, he's raising a kid and he's making barbecue right now. He's got a barbecue company, but he's also like a amateur photographer, and he already had a great 4K camera, and he knew what he was doing as far as trying to capture the studio with a camera. And we threw up a bunch of cameras too. Like Brendan had those Zoom things, and we used an iPhone on his kit, so the iPhone actually ended up looking better than the Zooms. Sometimes
the iPhone is iPhone, you could do a lot with an iPhone. I really value how technology has brought us to this point where technology itself is not a barrier to creating something beautiful or consumer friendly,
You just gotta be careful it doesn't take control, man.
Yeah.
You don't want the machine to take over here.
No, you don't. No algorithms leading.
No algorithms.
No algorithms.
No.
The cart leading the horse is bad.
You gotta make something cool before it goes into the digital zeros and ones, I think. You can't. I don't know if it's good to rely on technology to make your stuff sound cool. Like plugging a guitar DI into the interface isn't exactly my idea of getting the tone zone. But people do that, and I guess if you don't have any other option, it's fine. But I do think it's cool to just be happy with what you got before it hits the computer, if you can.
Yeah, I think it's really cool. The less you try in terms of following the crowd or whatever the technological wave is, buying all the latest stuff.
The wave.
Mm-hmm. The more you can kind of carve your own lane.
Bless you.
Yes, that was a cough right for your eardrums.
Franz Kafka.
I'm gonna mix that out.
Yeah.
But excuse me, the marijuana affects the throat and the talking.
Well, I just think that everyone has access to these plugins, right? They're infinitely duplicated and recreated and blah, blah, blah. Everyone can get the waves. Everyone can get sound toys. Everyone can get Fab Filter, whatever. Pick your poison. Yeah, ozone, isotope. If you use something before it hits that, your chances of having a unique sound are exponentially higher, I think, That's just me. I don't hate on anyone doing stuff in the box, because that's another way of doing it. I'm just... Yeah, I don't know. I've never really gone with the trends so good, Me no trends so good.
No trends so good.
I mean, I was doing cassette when it was digital.
I honestly have really enjoyed your music. Everything that I've heard, I have not disliked.
He hasn't disliked. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first.
That's a very honest opinion. I mean, if I were to tell somebody that I did not dislike their music, that means that I'm jealous of it. I wish I wish I could have made something that good. But, it intrigues me. So I continue to listen, and that's why I kind of want to promote you on whatever small platform I have. Glenn from Triptides, folks, he's wonderful. His music is wonderful, and he's intimidating human being, honestly. I feel nervous talking to him because he is so
he's only nervous because he's holding a mic.
Smart and fun to talk to, honestly. I wanna present him in a good light. speaking of that, he recently had a run-in with a local Crestliner, Crestlinian.
It is Crestlinian. Is
I
that
don't know.
It sounds
It could be
cool.
whatever you
Yeah,
want.
We say North Carolinian in the South, or South Carolinian, Crestlinian.
Exactly.
Similar lineage.
We live in a small mountain town in Southern California, and we decided to go to a bar after work with some friends. And as soon as we walked in, we had an interaction with the man. And I would love for you to tell this story.
Oh, I don't know if that needs to go on the internet. It was
I
a
think
strange
it might.
interaction with a local gentleman.
Not in detail, but as much detail as you'd feel comfortable with.
A local gentleman, approached our table and, crossed some physical, social distancing boundaries, and also, used some inappropriate vernacular in my first interaction with said gentleman. And I kind of just told him what time was, and I don't know, it was an interesting thing, but it was definitely it was an experience of the Crestline variety that I had heretofore been uninitiated in,
The alcohol flows aplenty in the the drinking halls of Crestline, and let's just say this man was intoxicated.
He was plastered.
He was plastered to the wall, and because of his association with a specific drunken historical society, which shall not be named, he felt the need to come over and welcome, I guess, Glenn to the town in a very impolite way. And tragically, the interaction didn't go as smoothly as I think he hoped it would. He insulted my friend here, Glenn, and
I'm a hippie, apparently.
it didn't, and other, choice kitty cats.
He said bad things.
He said bad things to Glenn, which were not fun to hear, honestly.
I'm not a confrontational guy
in a
either,
restaurant.
Yeah, I know. Really, woof. I'm just not that confrontational, I'm from the South, so I'm accustomed to a certain level of that vibe. I'm not gonna label anybody or put anyone into a box here.
This guy was a bro.
Yeah,
He was
I
a
don't
bro.
even know.
Straight bro. He broed out on Glenn, and it wasn't. It was fun to watch in a sick way because my mind
Josh
is just
sitting over there
corrupted.
twiddling his thumbs, morbid fascination, and he knows this guy somehow.
In a tertiary way, I do
Lord.
know this man because of the aforementioned fraternity that he's in, which, upon further research, Glenn, I think, understood more.
Can we talk
or
about
less.
the fraternity, or is
We
that,
can talk about the fraternity. I don't care.
what's it called?
I just don't want to dox, this poor guy.
No.
But it's called the Clampers.
I'd never heard of it, actually.
They're a
I thought
drunken
it was
historical
funny.
society,
Which
and
seems fun on paper.
put up
Absolutely.
plaques.
They put up. It seems like I was reading. They put up a bunch of plaques. Like if a ship sank in a lake, they'll get drunk, go on a boat, and throw a plaque in the water or something, and like sink it.
That's happened. And they claim like outrageous membership, like they say
George
that
Washington or
Mark
something.
Twain.
Yeah.
Actually, Genghis Khan, they say, was also a clamper, which
Oh,
I mean should inform maybe how this man would act. It's a very
they're-
wild and raucous or saucy fraternity.
Their fake Latin slogan means like it's absurd and so I believe it or something. It's like dog Latin. I was reading. It's like it's like kind of a bastardized version of Latin. It's like a fun joke, and I appreciate that because I like jokes and I like history and I like commemorating history, the good history, not weird history that sucks, but the stuff that's funny and harmless and cool and just gives gives a flavor. Yeah,
There's something to be said for that. Drinking with your friends, escaping society to
I was never a fraternity guy, but like my
I don't
brother
get it
was in
either.
one, and I'm not gonna hate on him if you want to do it as
But
long
yeah.
as you're cool
Yep.
and you're not hurting other
all the
people.
ups.
I'm totally in the let other people do what they want to do
Is
as
that a
long as it's
fucking
not
Charlie
fucking
Brown
with anybody.
sweatshirt or a Freddie Krueger sweatshirt.
It's
I'm sorry.
some sort of Freddie Brown thing.
Freddie Brown.
Yeah. I got that Freddie
noticed
Brown.
That popped out at me right now. I'm
Well,
like,
it's actually
I love
from the
that.
shop I used to work at, Nico and Bullet. You
Nico
can
and
still
Bullet in LA. Visit.
find them
They're
online and get this
online
exact
and-
same. NicoandBullet.com, I believe. Great people, but this is it's some sort of a, I don't know, recreation of something Brian Jones wore or some shit. I don't know. Are we doing FCC
Brian
guidelines
Jonestown
here?
Massacre.
Can I say shit?
Brian Jonestown Massacre.
No relation. No relation.
Said you're gonna have to tell me that story maybe off camera, because when I was very drunk with Glenn and the Brian Jonestown Massacre was mentioned in a almost cult-like surreal light, which I would like more context.
I think Melissa was going on about it. I don't have any veneration or cult-like status and for that group. I just know that my buddy Rob played with them, and he's a good guy, and that's it. I've met the drummer. He's a nice guy, too. I don't know. That's it. I never listened to them. I never bought their records. I have no interest in really getting into it. It's more on the shoegaze spectrum than the psychedelic thing for me, I think. There's like a Venn diagram or whatever. And, yeah, maybe a little too 90s stuff. The 90s, 2000s stuff, it's tough for me. It's got to be a real specific blend of mainly Stereolab.
No Red Hot Chili Peppers.
No Chili Peppers, no Smashing
Doubt.
Pumpkins, nothing. No Doubt. Actually, No Doubt's fine.
No.
Is that
Okay.
the one that,
I
that
can
the one
deal
that
with.
what's her name was in?
Gwen Stefani.
Gwen Stefani. Yeah. She didn't want to have ain't no follow back girls, right? You know.
She did go pretty mainstream pop at one point, and
also a weird kind of J-pop thing she was trying to do or something.
I liked it
kind of like
all,
appropriation-y, but you know.
That was when I was a
Harajuku,
child growing up.
whatever.
Yes, very appropriation-y at the time. I think she did get canceled like in some weird way for that later, but then
She would have
something
she would have
else
needed to
happened
be
and she's
fully
fine now.
embraced. She would have needed to be fully embraced by Japanese people and culture for that to fly. I think.
Meow.
You can't just do that, you know. Yeah. But she had her
Yeah.
moment, you know. What was that, like 2004? I don't know.
I just remember being a kid and being very entertained by that video. I was not able to perceive the racism at that time. Later, I suppose. Yes, and in context,
Yeah,
but
in further viewings, you realize the tone deaf appropriation that was running rampant in that video. But
on it, yes. and
I haven't
honestly,
rewatched it since it
haven't
was on
watched it.
MTV or what was it? TLC, not TLC, TRL
TRL.
with Carson
True
Daly.
Real Live?
Whatever. Total Request Live. You remember this? Is that before your time?
It is.
That would be like at the cusp of our times being like overlapped, you know.
I think I was on the cusp enough to where I know what TRL is. But
I watched
just not what the
TRL.
acronym stood for.
Well, I just wanted to watch TRL until Smash Mouth All Star came on. So let's just put it that way.
I've also had 10 shots of espresso today. Not kidding.
There you
My heart's
go.
beating out of my chest. But these theories, these are all real, true, real live.
Okay, this is all that. This will be a part where all that's cut. And what's the next part?
Where do you want to start the cut?
Right there.
Too funny.
So let's turn the questions around to Josh. You know, what
Now he's gonna interview me. Okay.
what are you working on these days? I'm sitting here in Josh's studio. Got the 6 set up in here. We got the studio monitors. We got the Ableton Push. We got a keyboard. I'm staring down some stuff that says I'm ready to rock, and I just want to know, what are you rocking?
Well, I've been sitting in this studio that I made for the past months that are not a year, and making music, just song after song, not finishing stuff, just making sounds. And I've come to a point now where I'm ready to release music. I'm sifting through my stuff. What do I want to actually show to the world, So I found a couple of songs or, musical creations, whatever, that I want to, put on some vinyl, because I feel like that's a medium that's going to be around, as funny as that sounds.
It'll spin around too.
It'll spin around too. And I value, the combination of sound quality, like physical medium, all that stuff, that record collectors, people who buy records love. I think that's an important part of music. Have it a tangible thing.
Maybe some artwork.
Yeah, maybe some artwork too. It becomes its own thing, right?
Oh yeah.
So
You got the
working on.
you got the sound,
Yeah.
you got the tactile, you're holding a record, you got the visual, you got the cover. You know, old records even smell funny sometimes. It's like
They
literally
do.
all the senses.
It's
Except
water. It's
taste.
actually fungus.
You're probably not
You're
going to
smelling the
taste a
fungus.
record, you know. But
I've tasted a record. They're not good.
well, let's get that on record.
Let's get that.
He's
let's
got
get
good
that on
taste for the
vinyl.
most part, you know.
I
Anyway,
try to eat records.
There you go.
Anyways, yeah, no, it's just that classic, like, finding your own process and then making your own art, whatever that means to you. I don't really think it's important for me to have, like, a distribution or, like, whatever. I really just want to make these records so that I have tangible music out there that I could, have exist.
Well, if you make something good, you can move them, you know, you can sell them.
Oh, yeah.
You can.
No worries.
I don't
on that,
know.
getting
You
rid
know,
of 'em.
distribution stuff. It's more about just putting everything you got into the product, you know, or product. but,
Exactly.
Like the
Whatever
art.
the product is.
The art.
Art
Product is tough, you know.
Well,
but-
I think as long as that's part of the mentality. I own everything. Like, it doesn't have to go on Spotify. I could give people download links. Everything. I could give people download links, from my website. I don't think it would create so much traffic that it would crash it. So it's like I feel like I have a good, way to distribute art at a. Like, I'm not trying to become famous or make a shit ton of money. I really just want to, like, finally execute this whole tangible music making exercise in a way that I'm not going to regret later. Like, oh shit, I signed away my fucking, like, publishing or any part of my rights, like, to somebody else, and now they're the one, I physically don't own some part of something that I created.
Right.
It's easy enough to create it yourself. Now, like I said, technology's come to a point where you can pay somebody to lay the records for you, and they deliver it to you. They ship it to your house.
$2,000, man. That's
$2,000. That's all it takes.
545s.
Yeah. So that's where I'm at.
I'm just gonna count in for some mastering and pay the artist for the artwork. You can probably get it done for $2,500, for a couple songs on record, and it'll last forever. And you can, you have something tangible and a little artifact. It's cool.
At the end of the day, it's not about the money, right?
No.
Like, was it ever?
It's a
So
passion
like,
project. Some would say,
Well, yeah, and then it's like that could be both a compliment and an objective statement, and then it could be either a compliment or an insult. Like, I've met plenty of pretentious people who are like, "Oh, you're making your art," I don't know. I'm using a British accent, but I live in San Diego, and I have a job, and I buy records.
That's how people talk there.
That's how people talk.
That's
but
true.
people have, an idea about art and artists who are okay with not making money. Like, I'm no Captain Beefheart, and I'm no
Beef
like
art.
cat lady painter. Like, I feel like I'm making something that would be fun to listen to for anybody, whether they're a musician or not. So
Yeah, maybe a DJ would like to spin it. That could be cool too. I think it's cool, man. You should do it. I just think there's a difference between a a passion project and a vanity thing, like a vanity pressing.
totes.
Like there's just two different mindsets
I don't know,
there.
tell us more about what a vanity pressing is. I don't actually. The first time I've heard this concept, this word.
I would say that's more like something you invest into that you think like really people need it because you made something like better than something that's already out there. Or more like a passion project is something that you just want to exist because you want to share it with everybody because you think they'll like it and you like it. And it just seems more of like I don't know. It seems coming from a better place to me. People have made books that they've pressed themselves that they think are just incredible, and they're not. That's more
True,
of like
and
a
I mean the
vanity
same
thing.
logic follows in publishing, right? Like, whether you're writing books, you're putting out music, you're putting out films, like everybody's towing that line of like vanity versus like I'm just making art for the sake of art. Right?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, the vanity could be like, I want money, I want this to be my career, like
it's
a certain
I want
type of
people to
vanity.
think I'm this or that.
Yeah.
But like, I think a passion project, that's how my buddy described that new documentary. He was just saying it's a passion project, and he just came at it from a really good angle of trying to make quality art or quality.
What was the documentary's name?
FUZZ City.
FUZZ
Yeah,
City.
he was just trying to
Check
make
it out.
something really cool and something that he already loved, and he just wanted to like share it with everybody else. You know, that's pretty cool.
I think that's pretty cool, and I'm glad that I could talk to people like you and an artist like you that has such a, I mean, refreshing, sure, perspective, but like a cool perspective on it. Like I don't feel judged, or like you have an agenda. I guess you do seem.
I don't have an
a
agenda.
true
I don't
artist,
use
yeah.
calendars or agendas of any kind.
Did they
all in
make
my
you use
noggin.
one when you were in school?
Yeah,
Yeah.
of course.
Why did they do that to us?
To instill some sort of organization technique.
Do you think it helped? Or
No, I don't use any of that stuff.
I think it hurt. I think when somebody tells you what to do a lot, especially when you're a kid, you develop this distaste for authority in general. But specifically if someone is like, "Hey, why don't you do this?" Like you'll be like, "Fuck you."
Or yeah, or just
Or even if
not
it's something
do
good
it.
for you, like lists, like fuck, I mean, well, lists could either be good or bad. Agendas could either be good or bad, but like
Yeah, having an agenda doesn't have to be an inherently, evil thing, right? Like if you have an agenda to save the environment, I feel like having an agenda has like this connotation of negativity to it. But if you have like a positive agenda, right?
I think the key to that is communication. The more you're willing to expose of yourself, the more transparent you're willing to be, the better people could tell.
Yeah, I
Positive
think
or negative connotation.
there's people that put on these acts and they want people to think one thing or another about them, and I don't know, if you pay attention, it's pretty obvious what they're trying to do, and it's hard to think anything that they're trying to tell you, is legitimate or valid. You're just like, well, this guy just wants me to think this. Why would I do that? Yeah, it's not very transparent
Deep
all the
thought.
time.
That's a deep thought. Yeah, sometimes people say something and I actually, you kind of reel from it. Like it's like that requires further investigation. Like you could really like ruminate on some things that people say, right? Like not everything is just like, yeah, I heard that, I understand it. Sometimes it's like, ooh, wow. You kind of start spacing out, which I think is good.
That means you're listening or something, right?
Well, I mean, paying attention, listening, whatever you want to call it. Like it's really kind of a groovy feeling, man.
Got a groovy thing going on, yeah.
It's true. Well, I'm hanging out with a groovy guy like you.
Hey, we'll be right back. I'm just kidding.
This episode's sponsored by Old Smoky Moonshine. This was given to me for free.
Old Smoky Moonshine.
I'm trying to start a trend of giving free little liquor advertisements, like spec ads.
Okay, cool. That's cool. Yeah, you should try
why
and get
not?
some sponsorship going
Why
here.
fucking not?
I mean, you've got a thick viewership here.
I have 10 viewers, 15 maybe. Saw the last episode, watched, listened, had their ears titillated.
Did they say anything? What was the review? Let's talk about the show a little bit. Where did this idea stem from?
The Mr. Big Show? Well, I didn't want to call it that. Jericho, the first interviewee guest, if you will, he called it that. But I honestly just wanted to do a podcast so that I could talk to not only my friends who I thought were interesting people doing interesting things, or, uninteresting people not doing interesting things. Don't want to discriminate.
Fair.
You know which category you fall into.
Uninteresting.
Yes, 100%. Don't tell him that's not what I meant. So, I just wanted to talk to people, and record it, and then not any ego. Like, I think conversations that I have are important enough that people want to listen to them, but just I feel like I've definitely had enough interesting conversations to where if some of them were recorded, it would be fun to listen to later. So maybe this is just a part of that. Like, I find people interesting. Talking to them is like, wow, like, we're people. We have ideas. Like, we can we could actually communicate with each other. Like, I could say something to you, you could say something to me, and it amounts to a conversation. And you could really get lost in conversation. I used to have like 4-hour-long phone conversations. People would just tell me like stuff, like we'd go through every fucking subject in the book, and it's an interesting way to communicate, like long form communication.
Yeah.
More than just 5 or 10 minutes,
Right.
And that's the idea for the Mr. Big Show. I hope to just talk to as many people as I can before I get done with this idea. I mean, it's very low effort, right? Like just 2 mics, and then you press record and set up a camera maybe, and hey.
Yeah, it's chill.
And then people
chill.
respect it. They're like, maybe some folks will check out Triptide Alter Echoes, out now on everything.
That's true.
So
That would be cool.
I would appreciate that, honestly. I would feel good if I could help out other people.
Nice. Nice.
Also, I got a lavender latte out of this. No, I got you. I got you, bro.
Hey,
I got you, bro.
it's all good.
Ha.
Yeah, I gotta have your coffee for the interviews, though, man. Come on, I get that mid-afternoon slump.
Fuck yeah. Little did you know, I really did. I had like a quad shot this morning from Bible Coffee, and then my friends Jericho and Ashley, wonderful artists themselves, made me a double shot at their house with their tiny espresso machine. So pumped.
That would be cool to get one of
7
those in here,
shots.
man.
Coffee. It's
Little espresso machine. I just walk in here, it's like you're like cleaning it out,
apparently it's more difficult than you would think. Like I was looking like how to pour a good espresso shot, like what espresso machine to buy. It's
They're expensive.
super
too.
expensive.
Yeah, I mean you can't get one under $1,000, pretty much. If you want like a really
yeah,
good
like
one,
a good,
it's
like
gonna
one
be
that
like
works.
$4,000.
That
I think.
pours a reliable shot. You
can
know,
get, like the single ones, they're cheaper. But if you want to get one like a coffee shop, those like Mia.
well, the thing
what are
is,
they
like I was
called, like,
watching these reviews. Apparently, the
blue
cheap ones, it's like the cheap record players.
Oh,
Like they're just
Lord.
engineered to not
You get
work.
The Crosley of
The
espresso
Crosley of
machines.
espresso
Yeah.
machines.
Well, those I'm sure you're also getting like weird like melted aluminum byproducts or some not great stuff. Who knows, man?
You know what's up.
Well, someone was telling me not to use those stovetop espresso things because it's like gets too hot or the metal gets too hot or something. I don't really.
My
know.
friend just
The
gave me one.
Bialettis,
My friend's dad just gave me one. It's super tasty.
I
like
kind
he
of
made
dig
it at his
yeah,
house.
and
yeah.
they just kind of like boil up out of the thing. Yeah.
And
I
then
was
it
doing.
whistles.
They're actually pretty nice for like a nice iced Americano or iced latte in the summer. You just take that, pour it over some like a giant cup of ice, and then add like whatever oat milk or water and
True.
or like agave or whatever. I used to do that all the time. But yeah, I don't know. I'm wondering if it's. I don't know. This guy might have just been tripping. He's like, I don't know about that aluminum getting so hot, man. It's like,
Well,
I don't know
that's
about
true.
anything, man.
This one that
I'm
this
just
one
trying
that
to
I have
drink
was
coffee,
clean with
man.
CLR. Like, do you think that's bad for you? Yes.
CLR?
Yeah, calcium, lime, and rust gone into dust.
I'm not familiar.
This is not an advertisement for CLR.
Is that
it's
some
like
sort of
cleans your
like
toilet,
cleaning? Okay.
cleans your shower head when it has hard water on
Is it like the scrubbing bubble stuff?
Yeah, but my buddy's dad, no shade. He's clean. So he cleaned the coffee pot with CLR because it had hard water stains, but it's aluminum, and it has like little metal bubble pot thing.
Ooh.
Yeah, I don't know if it's good anymore. And there's a hole in the basket. It's not making the shots right. So while I appreciate the gift, it was kind of like you can't.
Mine was a
look
gift
gift
too.
horse in a mouth.
That's true. Mine was also a
I
gift.
appreciate you
Mine was a gift.
and your gift.
And I messed it up at some point. I let it boil and I forgot about it, and I came back and it was just like black. It was like this red, Bialetti Italian thing, and it was just like black, and it still works. I just just like for since then, not
Kinda
sure.
sus. What kind of espresso do you use?
I don't. I just use regular coffee. I'm not that fancy. I should upgrade to actual espresso beans. I have like a grinder and everything, the bean grinder, and I try to keep it legit, but I just haven't got that niche,
It gets pretty niche.
You can go really deep with coffee stuff. That's dangerous.
Do you think coffee's a drug, Glenn?
I think it's a legal drug. I think coffee's more of a drug than some other illegal drugs are. If you've had enough coffee, if you've had too much coffee, we've all had way too much coffee. We don't know how strong the coffee is sometimes. We'll just down a cold brew. We don't know what we're
You
doing.
don't even know.
You feel like you're about to
How much
freak out
coffee
and die, right?
You've had before.
Have you ever felt like you're just going to die, like
yeah.
Yeah, okay. So you know, because that's why coffee is also a drug. Alcohol, also a much more dangerous drug than some of the more illicit drugs, I would say. You know, how many accidents are caused by drunk drivers versus people smoking weed or whatever, you know? So.
And then cigarettes, you know.
Well,
on
we
top
could
of
get
that.
into big tobacco, big alcohol, you know,
Alcohol,
lobbying. We could
tobacco,
get into
and
the economics and the,
fucking.
you know,
Yeah.
how it all
That's
goes
how
back
it-
to some one asshole.
Which asshole?
I don't even
Herbert
know.
Hoover?
No,
No.
I
I don't
don't know, you know.
Who started the ATF? That'd be a good research project.
I'm not sure. I know that there was a lot of stuff slandering like marijuana and
Reagan?
stuff. You know,
It's
William-
probably Reagan. My guess is Reagan.
Oh, I'm not sure, but alcohol is a strong capitalistic thing that we've cultivated over the last couple hundred years.
How is
so.
alcohol capitalistic? How is alcohol related to an economic system? Interested in this
Because
statement.
how much money do bars make? How much money does that put into the economy?
I mean, but Russia, a traditionally communist country, is known for consuming massive quantities of vodka.
Well, I don't know about Russia, man. I'm just talking about America.
America.
I just know that bars make a ton of money, more than
They totally
more
do.
than most, you know, food and beverage establishments. It's just if you just serve alcohol, you'll make a ton of money. So it's like we're not going to go and backtrack and say that, well, alcohol might need to be illegal. or whatever.
What makes a bar a good bar?
Are you talking about those like Good Bar like candies or?
The ones with the peanuts, I like those.
Oh, what makes a good bar? Good vibe, good atmosphere, nice clientele, strong drinks, good draft beer selection. I could go on. A big patio, place for bands to perform, a place for a DJ to have a DJ booth, good stereo system, good speakers. That's pretty much it. Maybe a dance floor. You know, I'm not a big dancer, but you know, some people like to get out there and strut their stuff. So let them do it. You know.
Yeah, no, that does sound like pretty much to a T an enjoyable concept for a bar.
Maybe a fireplace in the wintertime.
A lot
if
of
you're in the
people miss the
mountains,
beat,
yeah.
you know, like, and it's just the alcohol.
Yeah, if I want to go to a place and just drink, I'll just stay at home. You know,
Yeah,
the idea is to have
drinking at home,
a
so
new
much fun.
atmosphere. We've all learned to drink at home over the pandemic, I think, so that's fine.
I
but-
did not actually learn how to drink at home. I learned how to shoot heroin in between my eyeball.
Oh
so I could
Lord,
vein.
I thought you were gonna go into something way more innocuous. Like I learned sewing.
I learned sewing.
I've been
though.
crocheting, and I also quilted a blanket. You know, kept me
I
warm
w-
through the winter.
I wish I quilted a blanket. Have you ever
Yeah.
thought about quilting is a very womanly activity? Like, why
Well,
are-
traditionally, yeah, but I think that gender roles are arbitrary, and if I want to quilt a thing, I'll quilt a thing, man.
but I don't think you will.
Well, that's 'cause I already have a lot of quilts, and I'd rather quilt together some sick tunes, man. You know,
That makes sense.
sew up some jams.
I can vibe with that, man.
Yeah, I don't know. I
But
mean,
still.
if I lived in the mountains too long, you'll catch me quilting probably. So, by the fireplace in my rocker. I'm thinking I'm like 100 at this point, but yeah,
100. I would love to see Glenn 100 years old quilting.
I'm just like Bicentennial Man, Robin Williams or whatever, you know, like half robot.
Hey, you know, we might get to the point where we're half robot. You know, if you want that. Robot dick's what I'm gonna get first.
Lord have mercy. We'll edit that out anyway. Yeah, we'll edit that out too. Yeah. We're all thinking it now. Thanks a lot, dude.
You're welcome.
Anyway, so we're over here talking about Bicentennial Man. So Robin Williams, what a masterful comedian, you know, really a troubled soul, but gave everyone his comedic love, and that's what I liked about Rob.
Honestly, Robin Williams, it was first time I watched his comedy. I knew him like as a Disney character, right? And then
Aladdin,
like a family,
yeah, the genie,
yeah, and like a family movie guy, you know.
Flubber,
That was the other one.
Flubber 2, the Fleequel. That doesn't exist. I don't know. I kind of wanted that to exist.
It did when you said it. To me, I was
I
like,
don't
yeah, I
know.
remember. But I watched his stand up for the first time when I was like 13. I
He
got
was
my
very hyped up, right?
I got my wisdom teeth taken out, and they gave me
Hydrocodone.
drugs.
Yeah.
Yes, this is I wasn't really shooting heroin into my eyeballs. So completely unrelated story.
We'll cut that too.
We'll cut that It'll be a lot of punch-ins, punch-outs.
Yeah,
in this,
hydrocodone is a good way to. I mean, wisdom teeth. I'm not saying you need to abuse drugs, but when I can see how you could get into something when you're under the influence
Yes.
of wisdom teeth drugs.
I laughed hysterically for about 30 minutes, and I don't know if it was the drugs. It was the drugs.
He's funny though.
He was very funny, and he was just saying the most inappropriate stuff, and it was like
Would not fly today. He got in the door before that door closed for
Yeah.
sure with some of those comments, and that's it's up the time. And what are you gonna do? He's gone now. So
fucking cancel him like everybody else.
Jeez, dude. I don't know. When I got my wisdom teeth out, I got really into T-Rex.
Is that what happened to you?
Yeah, I got into the
more.
slider. I just listened to the
Slider?
slider with headphones on, and I just felt like I was like
All
surrounded
warm
by
and
like
fuzzy.
cotton.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
It was weird.
Pretty weird.
That Visconti sound or whatever. I think he did that one. Yeah.
Yeah, I wonder why they seed an opiate addiction in children, like in America, like that.
I think it's excruciating to have your wisdom teeth removed without that. Like Steven, when he had some wisdom teeth or something, and his mom read the dosage wrong, and she gave him like 3 at a time, 3 times a day, instead of
fuck.
like 1
That's-
3 times a day.
That's so much.
And by like the second or third day, they had run out. And so he was like coming off of a hydrocodone like
Opiate addiction
thing,
yeah.
and his wisdom teeth were killing him. And they went back to the dentist, and he was like, "How's the medication going?" And he was like, "Oh yeah, we ran out. I don't think we got enough." And he was like, "Oh well, you took like 3 times the recommended dose, you idiot."
Yeah, no. Well, I mean, they say that acetaminophen, like that's the primary ingredient in hydrocodone, like ibuprofen or
Right,
Advil,
right.
whatever. Like that's what's doing the work for pain prevention. The opiates just so that you're not like pissed off at life because it's like you got holes in your fucking head, extra ones.
Yeah, I remember getting my wisdom teeth out. I went to the dentist. I lied down, and he said, "Okay, count to 3. Here we go." And he put the little like gas mask thing, and I went 1, 2, and then I felt hilarious for like 2 seconds, and then I was just, and then I opened my eyes, and I was like getting wheeled into the car, and I closed them. I opened them again. I was like in my bedroom.
So it
Very
sounds like they put you
strange.
out with nitrous initially, and then
Yeah.
they probably
Yeah.
administered an intravenous anesthetic because I don't think they use like a nitrous flow.
I'm not sure if it was intravenous. I don't remember.
know.
But it's funny because there's all these ads I remember in Atlanta.
That's
on,
literally nitrous.
yeah, I got nitrous, but on billboards in Atlanta, I remember seeing this, and it'd be this kid looking like kind of like wacky and weird, and it just said like orthodontics, like it was some orthodontics ad, and it was like free laughing gas, and that was like how they were promoting it. And there's this kid just like glassy eyed, just like ooh. I was like, what the hell? Like, that's how you get kids in to fix their teeth and charge them like $1 million bucks or whatever,
Yeah, pretty much.
Orthodontics are very expensive.
That's
know?
actually
that funny,
hilariously
though?
sad
Yeah.
because the nitrous mafia is real and they will get you.
I don't know what that means, but
So at
You wanna
music
elaborate?
festivals, people would. Okay, so there's
I'm aware of
basically a
that.
mafia of people.
I've been in a fish show before. I know.
who steal nitrous tanks from medical facilities, and then they hire people to distribute balloons at music festivals, and it's like this racket of money, like where the people who they call the shots, like they're like, go steal those nitrous tanks.
Are they
and
trying to
then-
get people hooked on it or what?
No, the people will do drugs. I mean,
Well, what's the point then?
nitrous
what's
is
their
an
MO
innocuous
here?
drug.
What's
To
their
make
MO?
money. To make
How are they
money.
making money by giving away balloons full of nitrous?
They don't give it away. They sell the balloons at the
Oh
festivals.
yeah, obviously. Yeah,
3
okay.
for
Yeah, that-
20?
that makes
Ever
sense.
heard
Yeah,
that?
yeah, yeah.
No,
I've
you've
never,
never been to a
I have
ska
no,
show.
no, I have no. I don't.
I have-
I've never. First of all, I've never taken a drug.
Never taken any drugs. Clean
I.
Gene or Clean Glenn.
I
Sorry.
did wash these
Anyways.
jeans recently.
I dropped the L. You washed your jeans recently?
I did.
Good. So,
Now we're on a
They-
totally new subject.
they make money that way, Glenn.
Interesting. Well, hopefully they don't see this and come and get you.
No,
you are.
I mean, well, they don't. It's been exposed before. Vice did a shitty documentary about it, much like they do shitty documentaries about anything. Fuck you, Vice.
Shots fired.
Come get me.
There's no affiliation with Vice or Vice Enterprises.
Nope.
I liked the documentary Now Vice. Did you ever see that Drones? Like Jack Black.
Vice used to have good shit.
Well,
yeah.
there's like the joke one with Fred Armisen and Bill Hader. Yeah, that one's pretty good. And they're just like go to Mexico. You ever see this?
Actually, now that you say
Dude,
that, I haven't.
it's hilarious. Yeah, it's like a spoof on Vice documentaries, and Fred Armisen and Bill Hader go, and they're just like looking for like the drug lord, and they just keep yelling his name in the streets, and they keep getting killed. Yeah. They're just like, no, they're what they say. They're like, L whatever. They just keep yelling his name. And then they just keep getting killed.
El
and
Pablo?
then like new versions of them.
El
like,
Pablo!
with different makeup show up with like different facial hair. And they're like the new reporters or whatever. It's pretty good. It's pretty funny.
Well, apparently, do you know the element xenon? Back to
The warrior
nitrous
princess?
conversation. Yes, the warrior princess. No, the element xenon, it's next to helium on the periodic table.
I'm
of
not
elements.
familiar.
It's a drug. It's a dissociative anesthetic, like nitrous, except nitrous can eventually cause a vitamin B12 deficiency because it is created by bacteria and it changes your microbiome such that you have a vitamin B12 deficiency.
Mm.
But xenon doesn't do that because it's an element.
Mm-hmm.
It is one thing, but it provides the same effect. It's a dissociative anesthetic, so you pass out.
So what's the deal with this stuff then?
It's like better nos, bruh.
Okay. Well, interesting.
They use it for medical purposes exclusively. It's very, very expensive because to synthesize it is very difficult.
You have to ship it in from the planet Xenon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where the warrior princess is from. Did you watch that show a lot?
No.
I watched that show so much. My mom fucking loved Xenon Warrior.
Well.
Xena,
Yeah.
warrior princess.
Yeah. Didn't know that. That's a squeaky chair, man.
I just move around a lot because of coffee.
Mm.
I'm falling out of the chair.
Mm. Sonny and Cher. Mm.
Do you like Sonny and Cher?
Sure. Who doesn't? Classic pop outfit.
Me? I don't like him.
You got a lot to learn, son.
No, I don't. What song? I can't recall a Sonny and Cher song.
I got you, babe.
I got you.
The beat
babe.
goes on. What?
You're right. I do know these
Na,
songs.
na, 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 na.
Did you ever have that problem where you would like know a bunch of songs but not their titles?
With jazz, because I listen to the records more than I listen to it on like iTunes or whatever,
Right.
So I'm just like, I really like the second part of Blue Train or whatever.
I have that same problem with most stuff. It's hard for me to like, unless it's classical music, to like learn like permanently remember a song's title.
Yeah, classical music, you got about 5 minutes or more to remember that name.
Yeah,
It's
and
pretty distinct, right?
Right? I mean, I don't know. That's just how my brain works. Like I've memorized songs and their names and artists, right? But I guess just not in a popular music context.
Right. All right. That's fair. I used to memorize names just for fun. Jack.
I gotta say, I love your hair.
Sandy. Oh, thanks.
You got some
right back at
fucking
you, man.
badass hair.
I conditioned today.
What kind of conditioner do you
It's the
use?
Shea Moisture,
Shea.
whatever. I don't
Shea.
know. Whatever it's called.
Shea
It's the white one.
Shea baby.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
I've been trying not to do as much shampooing and conditioning, though. My buddy Eric,
That's
who's my
key.
barber, he was saying that you got to let the natural oils rock sometimes, especially with like hair like this, with curls and stuff.
Do you get tangles, knots?
I get tangly. Yeah. I
Have
brush.
you ever had dreads?
I've had a dread and I rip it
Okay.
out. Yeah.
Oh, thank God.
Ow. Nah, I haven't moved on to that part of my life yet, but
Yeah.
no, I don't know. Just gotta go with the flow, feel it out. Maybe use some Moroccan oil sometimes. I don't know. Get weird with it.
I agree.
Apparently, you're not supposed to brush it when it's wet. It's bad for your hair.
That will break your hair.
That's what I've heard. So
For sure.
I've been trying to let it dry more before I brush it. I don't brush it all the time either. So Anyway, that's my spiel. That's it.
That's how you take care of your hair. I
That's
mean,
pretty much
people
it.
ask me all the time, how do you fucking take care of your hair? I'm like, I barely. It's pretty much just as simple, same shit.
That's it.
Exactly what Glenn said.
People,
common
people had
sense.
cool hair before shampoo was invented. So, it's just like
Yeah, totally.
you look at all those like musicians in the 60s and 70s. They hadn't like washed their hair in like days, or like showered probably.
I was actually watching Foreigner's "Dirty White Boy" music video this morning, and they were all very. I could smell them through the screen.
I don't know any Foreigner songs.
Dirty White Boy.
Don't know it. Don't know it.
Yeah, okay. You're just gonna play the Sonny and Cher vibes for me. Ooh, you like my bell? That is my peace chime. It is. It brings me peace. That specific tone I have associated mentally with feeling peaceful. We'll do another one.
There you have it, folks.
Would you like to drink any of this whiskey? I do have it. I did bring it out for that purpose. You don't have to drink, but I think I wanted to try it. Which
Is this like one of those like podcasts where they try foods and stuff now? Or
Yeah, sure, why
You're
not?
swapping genres here. Are we gonna do the hot wings thing now, or
we're improvising. When I was setting up today, I was like, I need water. And I was like, ooh, I have this little Old Smoky apple pie moonshine. And I've never tried the Old Smoky moonshine. I thought it would be delicious. My wonderful cousin Carla.
that seems very
Gave it to me.
alcoholic?
It does. You could give it a sniff. You absolutely don't have to try it, but I think I'm going to give a little shot.
Not much of a day boozer, unless I'm on the road, I suppose. But
I'm not much of a day boozer either.
holy crap!
But one shot won't kill you, as they say.
Unless it's a shot through the heart.
And you're to blame.
I know that song. Is that Foreigner?
Yeah.
Is it?
100%. It's Foreigner. Do you really not know?
Heart?
No.
Who is it?
Shot through the heart.
Bon Jovi.
Yeah. There you go.
But that's not. It's not. That's not the "Whoa, It's We're Halfway There" song, is it? It's not like a Funky Town thing where it's like
That's
really
like
different.
living on a prayer.
Oh, "Living on a Prayer." Right.
What kind of music did your parents listen to, Glenn? Tell me that while I take this shot. I'll take it
Well,
slowly.
ABBA, Billy Joel. My mom had an Enya phase. I don't know. Celtic woman. I don't know. Just like
Enya is Celtic woman?
she's like a Celtic singer. Like no.
This is one shot.
I don't know. I think she sang like one of the songs in the Lord of the Rings credits.
This is one shot.
Oh, jeez. What else? My dad liked REO Speedwagon. I don't know. He had like records from he had like the Star Wars soundtrack. He loved classical John Williams. He loved like Mozart, Beethoven, Rachmaninoff, that kind of stuff. He wasn't much of a jazz guy. He wasn't much of a blues guy. He didn't really like Zeppelin or hard rock stuff. It was too like he was more of like he was like a yacht rock guy, like Michael McDonald, Loggins and Messina. He liked Journey. He liked Toto. I don't know. And then he randomly liked Viva La Vida by Coldplay quite a bit. I'm not really sure why. He was always telling me I needed to aspire to the Viva La Vida production quality. And I said, Dad, I don't really have $100,000 to drop at Abbey Road or whatever with the full orchestra. But one day, he always said I needed to get some more strings and stuff in there. But my mom was more into ABBA and like James Taylor and soft rock stuff. There's some people whose moms like loved Fleetwood Mac and stuff. I never really got that vibe from her. She never really liked like Fleetwood Mac or something. She never really, I don't know. She had an interesting taste. She never really got into rock and roll stuff. No Zeppelin, no Sabbath, no AC/DC.
That's kind of good.
My mom said she was on a plane with the Sex Pistols once. She did travel back and forth between England in the late 70s. So I'm going to take her word for it. She studied nursing there, and she has her certificate in the Royal Nursing Academy or whatever.
Beautiful.
In England.
That's actually really cool.
My family had a lot of family. Some of them are dead now, but in the middle of England.
Some of them are alive, I'm sure.
Yeah, I've met my second cousin in Sheffield. She was a very nice lady.
Hey, shout out to second cousin in Sheffield.
Yeah.
How you doing?
it's cool being in the middle of England and having family there, you know. And I have family in Australia I've never met, you know. But
You should go to Australia.
that would be cool. Yeah, my uncle, I don't know, second cousins or whatever, Bernard or someone, you know, all these people, Paul or I don't know, British people. My mom was the first
Kind of
American
cool to have a big
person.
family like that, though.
Yeah, my dad's family's all in the South though, Tennessee and Georgia and probably some in Florida and stuff. And
Florida.
you know, it's okay.
like
You know, it was
Florida.
nice to I after being in California, there's not really, you know, I don't have as much excitement to go back to Florida, but it was nice to have Florida when I was a kid, you know. We'd drive down to Disney World or, you know, go to the beach there. We'd go to like the Panhandle, whatever. It was fun. My dad actually went to school in Tallahassee, I guess, University of Florida or I forget Florida State, one of those. He studied there before he
One of the big
did,
couple of
he did
Florida
med school there.
universities,
Yeah, he went to college in Atlanta at Emory. If you've ever heard of Emory,
I have.
yeah, that's a cool school. And but yeah, so there's a Florida connection there. He had friends
Institutions in the South. Those colleges are like well known
there.
and
Yeah,
like
people just know 'em,
respected.
Emory, whatever, Duke, you know, all these names.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. But I don't know. The music thing
Either
was
for
good.
football or education, like strong sports and academic.
Yeah, man, I
connection out
love
there.
that SEC conference,
Yeah,
man.
yeah.
Go Dogs, whatever. I don't know.
Aroo.
But yeah, actually, besides that, the college scene in the South did have some good music to it, you know, because you know there's a big Greek scene, but like whatever, you know, say what you will about frat bros and shit, but they go out and have fun and like rock, you know, they get really drunk and want to party, so it's easy for a band, you know, to go and have a good show because everyone's
Heck
like
yeah.
predisposed to having a good time. It's kind of like the jam band scene, which is why I'd like to play more shows with that scene because I feel like you
If
know
you could
people
play
come to
any
have
show
fun
or
and
festival,
and,
do you
whatever.
like aspire to any specific like I want to play
Primavera?
Primavera? Are you serious?
Yeah, I love. I mean, I had a
It's hard to
really.
tell sometimes.
I had I had an incredible time seeing. I saw Tame Impala at Primavera like right after the Lonerism thing came out with my buddy Alex Barrett. We were on a small.
Fucking
We did a
sick.
little Euro trip, and I met the French guys that were putting out our records, and I met this British guy that was putting out our records in London. We did Paris. We did London, Paris, Barcelona, and then back, and it was pretty fun. And man, I just remember watching Tame Impala, like the sun setting, like the Mediterranean Sea behind me, them in front of me. And it was just so sick. I mean, it was after Lonerism, which I think is their peak as far as, you know, peak for me, you know.
No,
People
a
say
lot of
they're
people
still
would
peaking.
agree with you, and then they really like that album too.
Yeah.
So it's like a fucking. I'm sure.
I
it
don't
was
want
a
to
time,
hipster out
right?
here, you know, and be like, fuck all that other top 40 Tame Impala shit, but I did just say that.
It's
But-
all right. I mean, like you could have an opinion.
It doesn't matter, you know. At the end of the day, he can do whatever he wants. But I did have a great time at that, and I've spoken to our booking agent before about it, and he's made it seem like because we're not like a hot new band now, it might be tough to ever play it. He's been very direct. He's a very direct Dutch man that I trust very much and like very much. So I believe his opinion there. But, you know, who knows? Maybe something could happen. We could be like a legacy band. You know, they'll have like Gary Newman play or whatever sometime. They had this guy Nick Gary play who had an album in like 1968. He played in his entirety a couple years ago. So maybe we'll come back around, you know, when I'm like geriatric, wheel me out there, see that Mediterranean Sea, you know, hit my phaser pedal and lift off, you know.
As much as I like the Dutch, I mean, somebody, it was a funny statement that they made to me, like in terms of like career in the music industry. They told me your net worth.
Who told you this?
Your network is your net worth. I'm not gonna name any names.
A Dutch person?
Not a Dutch person.
What was as much as I like the Dutch comment, what was that leading towards?
Well, I mean, I've worked with Dutch people before. Like, they're very straightforward. Yeah, sure. And they have, I don't know, I feel like,
I dig that though, you know, especially in the music
yeah.
industry. I dig the directness.
well, it's like
you know?
they're like machine elves, like in the psychedelic trip of life. Like they're literally working and getting stuff done and doing stuff. So it's like, well, they're good to have. I mean, I'm not like, I'm being a little bit.
Let's generalize here.
I'm being a little bit. What's that like? Absurd right
Mhm.
now. Like I'm kidding, kind of.
Okay.
But as much as I am, I'm not. Like some people are made just to do things, and like they're not gonna encourage you. Like, they're gonna be straightforward. So
I think there's a good balance between being told you can do whatever you want and also being told you can do whatever you want, but you need to do X, Y, and Z, and you're going to have to work hard for a long time before you can even get close, because that's
the
the
hard
reality.
work is the reality.
You know, it's
like,
not like they're just
going to
sprinkle fairy dust on it and you're going to be like,
involved.
you know, the CEO of the company you wanted to run or whatever, you know. But that's why I like people, you know, European people, Dutch people in particular. Like, I remember talking to our booking agent, like, hey, or being like, hey, my friend's band is playing in Berlin. He was living in Berlin at the time, and he was just like, yeah, I won't go, but maybe I'll see him after. You know, it's not this like, he's like, I don't like the music, so I won't go, but I would like to hang out with him still. You know, it's honest. It's not like, yeah,
that's
totally,
valuable.
I'll be there, man. Yeah,
fuck
front
that.
row, because that
It's hard to read
is a
people
very
like that.
American thing, right? You know, like you say, hey, I'm playing a show tonight. They say, yeah, I'll be there, man. And it's just like, you know, the tumbleweed, or it's like Austin Powers where he's like, stand up and take a bow, Dad.
Daddy wasn't there
and
to
it's just
change
that
my
thing.
underwear.
Yeah, well,
Take me
true.
to the fair.
Daddy wasn't there. That's actually a sick song.
It was.
But, you know,
remember that.
there's
very
got to
well.
be a balancing act between like being super positive and also being realistic. And I
Yes.
think we could do a better job of striking that, and maybe we will strike a better balance after the pandemic and when people actually go out to shows, and maybe people will be more gung ho to go out and support their friends in general because they'll be able to go out. You know.
Hey, fuck this pandemic, am I right? Hey.
Yeah,
hey,
it's been interesting. You know, rolling with the punches and still creating
Punching
music
with the
and.
rollers.
I'm glad we haven't even gone to that question. Like, so
not.
how have you been dealing? Because
How have
I've been
you
asked
been
that a million times, and everyone knows we're just doing our best. you
It's
know?
like a meme with the squirrel nut. No.
Squirrels. I love
Squirrels.
squirrels.
No, my transitory statement. Well, enough about the.
Did
Dutch
you
or
want to talk
whatever I
about
said.
squirrels?
I did. So
They're nuts.
no, they are nuts.
Yeah.
No, but like, yeah, no, very, very important piece of advice. Your net work is your net worth. So who you talk to in the music in any industry will inform like how much money you make. Like, it's like there is weird it is economically. There's like people who do very little work who just because they know people make shit tons of money, and it's like
That would be more common than the alternative, I think. you
Right?
know, there's so many people that make so much cash, and they're just like
not like a jealousy
just
thing
knew the
or
right
whatever,
person,
but
you
it's
know?
like
That's
just
how
for
it
yourself,
works.
you could position yourself not not in a distasteful way where it's like you are surrounding yourself with people who's like you disagree with like on a base level or you don't like them, but the world is a big place. It's out there, like, and there's more opportunity than there is an opportunity, especially for people who have put the work in. I believe you put the work in. You've made fucking 7 albums. That's there's a reason that you've kept doing that, and like there's also a reason that you're at where you at, whatever that is. I don't know, but it's like you shouldn't give up hope, and you shouldn't like be unrealistically hopeful.
It just
either.
depends on what your
Yeah,
goals
right?
are, man. It's just aligning your goals, and if your goal is to
Totes.
buy a Malibu mansion, and you want to put out one record, and you think you're gonna do that, then you're gonna be disappointed, and you're gonna fail, and you're gonna give up. It's like I don't have any goal
Almost
aside
every
from-
time.
Well, I don't have any goals aside from continuing to make good art. And that's why I keep doing it, because I'm not disappointed. I don't feel let down or disappointed or screwed out by the man or anything. It's just as long as I can sit down and record music with my buddies and sing my songs and share my stuff, I'm having a great time, and I feel totally privileged and lucky to be able to do that. And I think I wake up every day like stoked that I have all this music and I can keep making it. But, it's like, talking about tempering your expectations and stuff. It's like you're on that wave, though. You want to release music. You're not trying to, like, make $1 zillion. You're just trying to make something and be proud of what you made and share with everyone else because you think it's cool. And if you think maybe, as I do, that music doesn't already exist in the universe and you could be the one to offer it to the universe and share with people, I think that's, like, the most valid form of continuing to progress as an artist and make, you know, substantial artwork, right? You know, it's like you're just doing it for the love of the game. It's so
If
much
it
better
was a
than saying
game,
like, if
yeah.
I don't put, if this 45 isn't like Billboard top 10 and I'm like swimming in a bathtub of gold coins by the end of the year, I quit or whatever.
Well, I mean, there's a way to approach that. Like, if you did want to be successful, right, it wouldn't be by pressing 45s, probably. I mean, most likely.
Well, not in
Almost
this
like
era,
100%,
maybe. You know,
yeah.
there was a time, you know, 1964. It's like, yeah.
I mean, we
I
could
want to
talk
hold your
more
hand
about
was
that.
you know.
Like, I always say, like, they sent out gold records on all the Voyagers, right? Like, they're not sending out CDs, even though I think one of them, like, was in the time where there was...
I think they sent out Chuck Berry, Johnny Be Good on one of those things.
Yeah,
right?
but they
'Cause
sent
there's
out
like
records
a Carl
instead of
Sagan
some other
letter to
medium,
him or
right?
something. You know, it's
like a gold record
Chuck.
with a physical imprint. Like, I think there's definitely something to that, because, like, what if there was like a major like disaster event where like people like literally had to rebuild? Like, it would be easier to first build a record player than to like build up
A laser disc, yeah, or like a laser reading CD drive.
And
Yeah,
not
I
that I
mean,
want that to
the
happen, but it's
technology,
more
well, the
it
technology
transcends
for
America.
you could play a 45 without electricity.
Yeah, 100%.
You just
That's
you
what
get
I'm into.
yourself a phonograph, and you would have to, you know, figure out the needle, because those phonographs have crazy, you know, like they look like the lead of a pencil. It's just about to destroy everything it touches. I mean, you can play 78s on them, but yeah, that is interesting. You're not working yourself up to like the fucking MP3 player over here. It's
Right,
like, how are we
like,
gonna
need to
stream
figure out
these
the
songs? We
math
got to
for
figure out the
samplers
internet.
and everything.
We got to figure out electricity. We got to figure out computer chips. We got to figure out the internet. We got to figure out
Yeah.
headphones. We got to figure out headphone jacks. Whatever.
Not that I
sound
foresee
cards.
any of that happening. It's just like,
Well, you know, I
from
read
principle.
sci-fi, I
Yeah.
read fantasy,
Yeah,
and
why not?
it's interesting to entertain these ideas, because there is an alternate universe where someone pushed the red button and everything got destroyed. It's probably a couple dimensions over from us, you know. So
well, apparently
maybe they are. You know,
They figured out in Antarctica with their science machines that there's a parallel universe where time runs backwards. So the way that they did this, they were like measuring neutrinos, like these very small like subatomic particles, and somehow they extrapolated from that time itself, like physical space-time, moves backwards in a different dimension. Which is like, you know, pretty heady to understand. But the funny thing, they had this picture of like this fucking crazy looking like speaker system, because I assume that it was like involved in this, like fucking, you know, big ass horns, like fucking like 12 big ass horns, like
some
fucking 10
tweeters,
subwoofers,
some
like
tweeters
crazy
on that
shit.
thing, man. Come on,
Big ass tweeters.
tweeter bird.
But the idea was that there was a parallel universe where the speakers suck sound out of the atmosphere and, you know, demix it, de-amplify it, and transduce physical sound into an electrical signal.
Well, that's what they've done that with recording. I mean, that's how they recorded the kick drum on some of the Beatles stuff. They just reverse engineered a speaker.
But that's what a
bass
microphone
speaker.
is.
Yeah,
It's a speaker. You're working in reverse.
But that's funny. I mean, microphones aren't blasting out music, so I guess we're in the right reality.
Yeah,
or whatever,
but
you know?
it's funny that was like what was proposed. Like these little like fun mind games, like they're really so deep. Like whenever you get into tapping into physics or how that shit works, it's like, oh, how fun. Like that is in fact how sound and electricity works. Like, you know, it makes you. I just came to that realization here. Like I was holding that for a conversation later with some musician. I didn't know where it would lead to, but
I'm sorry it led here. You know,
me too.
could have done better.
This apple pie whiskey it tasted like a dessert, like with heavy alcohol.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it was on point for like the advertising of the flavor, but kind of too sweet.
Almost like a dessert liqueur.
Yeah, I
You'd
would
get after like a meal at an Italian restaurant. Or
if you
something.
ate something and then drink that, it would be more satisfying than liquid diet here.
I don't have ice cream by itself either.